You ever walk into a room and just get that feeling you missed something important? Or you see something really weird and your brain just instantly kicks into overdrive trying to figure it out? Well, it turns out we all play detective pretty much every day, piecing together clues to figure out what just happened. Today, we're going to break down exactly how we do it.
Okay, so let's jump right into our first case. Mr. and Mrs. Jones have just walked through the door to, well, to this. Yeah, one kid is reading like nothing's wrong, but the rest of the room, it's pure chaos. You've got a mess in the kitchen, some new artwork on the wall, and it looks like the little girl has been shopping in her mom's closet.
So here it is, the big question. What in the world happened before they got home? Just take a second. Look at all the evidence. What's your first guess? Come on, let's start thinking like detectives.
Now, to solve mysteries like this, we all have a superpower. It's called speculation. It's basically the art of coming up with a theory when you don't have all the facts. And today, we're going to look at the language we use to do this, to turn those gut feelings into some solid deductions.
You know, every great detective knows this simple rule. The main event? It's already over. All that's left are the clues. So our job is to find those clues and basically rebuild the story of the past. And how we talk about that past, the words we choose, oh, it's absolutely crucial.
All right, detective, time to get your magnifying glass out. We are officially opening case file number 1, the messy house. Let's start breaking down the evidence piece by piece.
Okay, first up, let's zoom in on the wall. This masterpiece of a stick figure family, pretty sure that wasn't there this morning. This is our very first clue, and it points to something specific that already happened.
Our brain immediately starts to build a timeline, right? The drawing happened before the parents walked in. So our deduction is the little boy had drawn on the wall.
Okay, now let's shift our eyes over to the kitchen. What we see here is the aftermath of, well, it looks like a cooking experiment that went very, very wrong. This is clue number 2.
And just like that drawing, this whole plate-breaking incident is over and done with. So our timeline tells us they had broken some plates. See the pattern? A linguistic one is definitely starting to pop up.
And now for the final piece of evidence in the room. The little girl's outfit. It's fabulous, for sure, but it's also clearly borrowed from someone a bit bigger.
And here's our last deduction for this case. The whole game of dress-up happened before Mom and Dad got home. So we can say the girl had worn her mom's dress. See, using that little word had plus the verb is our secret code for talking about something that was already finished when the main action happened. Case closed.
But you know, what happens when the evidence isn't quite so obvious? In our next case, we're going to see that sometimes you just can't be 100% sure. This is where we go from making solid deductions to kind of weighing the possibilities. So check this out. We've got 2 different weird events. At Erica's house, there's a man in a suit, strange noises. One theory, it might have been a ghost. Then, over at the ranch, Fred and Mildred see thousands of little lights. Their guess? They must have been fireflies. Did you catch the difference in the language there?
This right here, this is so cool. Think of this as our speculation scale. It's like a toolkit for how sure we are. When we say something might have been, we're not very certain at all. It's just a guess, a weak possibility. But when we say it must have been, whoa, that's a strong conclusion. It's like saying, based on the evidence, this is the only thing that really makes sense.
Okay, for our final case, we're going to see all of these detective skills come together in a real-time conversation. We've got 2 friends, Samir and Greg, who stumble onto something, well, really strange, and they try to figure it out right then and there.
So here's the scene. Greg gets to the park and this is what he sees. Some weird, smoking thing has smashed into the ground and a crowd had already gathered. Hey, there's that had language again. It's setting the scene for us, telling us what happened before he even got there.
So Samir asks what it is, and Greg's first response? Beats me, which is just a great casual way to say I have no idea. But then he makes his first strong deduction. It must have fallen from the sky. I mean, look at that crater. It's a pretty logical first guess.
But wait, then he starts thinking. He dials back how certain he is. Notice the switch? He says, or it might be the remains of a weather balloon. He's just moved himself down that speculation scale, offering up a less certain idea. And then Samir throws in the real wild card theory. He goes, or maybe one of those UFOs. This is probably the most out there and maybe the least likely explanation they've got.
And hey, just so we're all on the same page here, UFO just stands for Unidentified Flying Object. All it really means is there's something flying around that we can't identify. Though, of course, we all know it usually makes us think of something a little more extraterrestrial.
You know, this conversation is also just packed with awesome, informal detective lingo. Phrases like beats me or gee are perfect for showing you're surprised or confused. And Samir's final line, you never know, that is the perfect motto for any unsolved mystery. It just means, hey, anything's possible.
So there we have it. We've gone through the clues for all 3 cases. But for this last one, the investigation is still wide open. And now, it's your turn to be the lead detective.
If you were Greg or Samir standing there in the park, what would you do next? Do you call the cops? Do you think, whoa, this might be a bomb, and get out of there fast? Or are you going to stick around to see what happens? The choice is all yours.
In the end, every single investigation comes down to weighing the possibilities. Like Samir said, you never know. From a messy house to some crazy thing in a park, speculation is just how we make sense of the world. So, what's your final theory? What do you think really happened in that park?